I get some monitor service? I don't think we have no monitor. And yes, I purposely abused the English language. Huh? I got some nice house mains. There we go. Now we're in there.
I appreciate their mouth. Open first.
Push us over.
I see what you're saying.
Sorry about that, friends. We're running late. Good morning and welcome to Shalom Macon, where our famous tagline is Shabbat Shalom. We came up with that. That's what we named the synagogue after. So guess what? We're going to just kick it off and worship, praise, celebrate, rejoice, be happy. We're happy that our bass player's back and his family as well, God willing. Here's a little song about Israel. Actually, several songs about Israel, all sort of from the prophets. Lance is going to start it with a bass solo in B. And once Floyd again. And the Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and you shall have a song in the night. Come to the mountain of the Lord, see his glory and his might. And the Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard. You shall have a song in the night. Come to the mountain of the Lord, see his glory and his might. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's the mighty one of Israel. He's the mighty one of Good morning. We're going to go from that to another psalm, but it's not a song I play very much because it's kind of depressing, but you know, the psalms can be that at times. And as I was looking through music and thinking and asking what should we play, I realized that maybe this one's for somebody who needs to hear it. My hand's so tired from the last song that I can't play the guitar, so. Try my best to find you. Let my eyes see. Try my best to find you. Don't hide your truth from me. revive me with your word. I weep with grief. Lift me up with your word. Give me life through your word. I put my hope in your word. Tried my best to find you. Let my eyes see. Tried my best to find you. Don't hide your truth from me.
שירו כי גדול אלוהי, כל אחד יראה כי גדול אלוהי. גדול אלוהי, שירו כי גדול אלוהי, כל אחד יראה כי גדול אלוהי. שם מעל כל שם, אותך ראוי להעלות, ליבי אשיר כי גדול אלוהי. Is the name above all names, name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing how great is our God. Shemea, Shemea kol shem, אותך ראוי להעלות, ליבי ישיר כי גדול אלוהי. The name above all, name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing how great is our God. Gadol Elohai, Gadol Elohai, Shiru ki Gadol Elohai, kol echad yireh ki Gadol Elohai. How great is our God, how great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. Gadol Elohai, Gadol Elohai, Shiru ki Gadol Elohai, kol echad yireh ki Gadol Elohai. Let's stand together, friends. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך,
Let's stand. All these new babies walking in here. Particularly appropriate time as we say Magen Avraham, as we Torah portion this week is Lech Lecha, where we meet Avram and learn about the merit of our fathers. To the God who is faithful from the beginning to the end. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם. Amen. The God who's faithful to resurrect the dead. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hametim. The Holy One seated above the heavens. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. God who gives us this day of rest, and I know we all need it. Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh haShabbat. To the God restoring his presence to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato leTzion. To the God worthy of all thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulchanei lehodot. The God who grants us peace. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. And with Lance back in this whole percussion section, let's do Avinu, the fun and fast way. Shabbat Shalom.
His merit and His virtues. May the sayings of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be favorable, be favorable, be favorable to you. Oh Lord, my rock and my redeemer. 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 Yeshua, Hu HaMashiach, Hu Adon HaKol. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who's given us the way of salvation in Messiah Yeshua. Amen. You may be seated as we sing together Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for your support of the work and mission of Shalom Macon, which you can do through your giving at the link behind me or on the screen, and the Tzedakah box by Steve. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Hold up, Chai. Hold up, Chai. Hold up, hold up, hold up, Chai. Hold up, Chai. Hold up, Chai. Hold up, hold up, Chai. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
Thanks, Lance. Shabbat Shalom. Good morning. Wow, it is fantastic to see y'all here because we didn't have anybody at prayer service hardly. So y'all need to start showing up for prayer service because we need some help. We really need some help. So there's your guilt for the day. Welcome, and we are so excited that y'all have chosen to participate with us today here in person and online. And speaking of online, we would like to welcome Lisa Fox from San Antonio, Texas, the Walton family from Chino Valley, Arizona, Andy Hawkins from Athens, Georgia, Nadine and Gordon from Roswell, Georgia, Joanne Baxter, Bratcher from Baxter, Tennessee. Y'all see how that got? Okay. Kim Lamson from Devon, Pennsylvania, Doug and Dawn Brachy from Tennessee, the Kinches from Rexford, and the Forbes from London. We thank y'all so much for joining us today. Just a couple quick announcements. The tour club at 1:30. If you would like to participate in that, you can join us online. We'll have the link set up on Mighty Networks, but there's like 2 or 3 more weeks where it's free, so you will need to go ahead and sign up. Even if you're joining us online, sign up through the FFOZ webpage, tourclub.org, so that we can get you a full participation in with us. And then Hebrew class for the kids will be at 3:30 this afternoon, and that will be on the Mighty Networks as well. And then tonight at 7 p.m., we'll have our tour on tap. Men, come join us. What chapter are we in? 4? In the Love and the Messianic Age book. So come join us with that. And then on November 15th at 9 a.m., we'll have the Macon Men prayer and breakfast. So Lance is heading that up. So please come and support him with that. And then on December 18th, we have a Hanukkah party at 5:30. So please make your preparations for that and go ahead and start making your ugly Hana sweaters. So it's probably going to be hot, so you don't want to wear the sweater long anyway. So maybe an ugly Hanukkah t-shirt. And then also on November 20th, we don't have a slide for this yet, but a baby shower for Kelly Cave. That more details will come. And we have had an influx of babies around here lately. So that is just wonderful. So, Linda.
I'm going to preach today. So you look really frightened. I have a pet peeve, and there is some relevance to it. But when I was working, people often said, "Thank you for all you do." And it seemed like a throwaway line, like they don't have no idea what I do, but thanks anyway, you know. And the relevance to that is I was charged, today is Rabbi Appreciation Day, incidentally, in case you didn't know. And I was charged with getting the cake. And so I had to put something on the cake, right? And I was trying to think of all the things that Rabbi Damien does that we are grateful for. And I started making a list, and it went into the second page, and I thought, this isn't going to fit on a cake. So you will see there is a cake, and it says, "Thank you for all you do." But we are very fortunate here that we have a twofer. With Rabbi Damien, we get Kelly kind of thrown in for free. Or maybe we pay for Kelly and we get Damien thrown in for free. So the things that I'm saying apply to both of you. I first met Damien as a teacher. He was teaching at Wesleyan, and that is still something about him that I greatly appreciate. But he's also a preacher, and he does a fantastic job of incorporating teaching into his preaching, which I also appreciate. I know that a lot of people do. He is a counselor, a mentor to me and to a lot of other people. He cares about everybody. He's a devoted husband, father, grandfather, son, and brother, and shows us how family should be done, right? He is an excellent example. He's a musician. There are people who come primarily for the music. I come sometimes, not very often, to the 9 o'clock service, and the thing I enjoy the most about it is most of it's sung, and it's beautiful. I don't understand most of it. It's all in Hebrew, but it's beautiful, and I can get lost in that, in the beauty of it. The thing that I appreciate the most, and I think this is the ultimate compliment, is a quote that's attributed to St. Francis of Assisi. He never actually said it. There are several things that he never said that he gets credit for, but it's preach the gospel at all times, use words if necessary. We know that Rabbi Damien particularly likes words, so we're not going to ask him to not do it, but he does practice what he preaches, and that is something that is particularly impressive. Another thing that is extremely impressive is to what extent he has made a community out of a very diverse group of people from all over the world. The people in this room, if you look around, are incredibly diverse. But you think about the fact that we're in, 6 continents now? And when I was at Shavuot, I think one of the things that touched me the most was people who came in this synagogue for the first time from way across the country who looked around and said, I'm home. And that's very special. These are cards and notes and stuff that people brought, and this one is from the synagogue. And there is cake and other goodies at the back, and I hope you'll eat it because it's got all those words on it.
When it says thank you for all that you do, when I see that, I'm going to be thinking of those 2 pages.
Okay, you do.
But beyond of all those amazingly kind words, I must say, I hope that I too, like St. Francis of Assisi, can be credited with great things I never said. As long as they're great. Thank you to an incredible, incredible family. It's actually shocking to me to have, after just having my big 50th party and everybody coming out and celebrating and just being so amazing to me. I felt pretty appreciated. And I especially am grateful for the appreciation for my wife, because everything that happens here is ultimately, to a large degree, because of her and the support and the dark times and the trouble and all the things where you just don't ever see that side of me, because she sees it all the time, and she takes care of me, and she takes care of you. And so it is Rabbi and Rebbitzin Appreciation Day. I'm extremely humbled. I will always be humbled to stand before you and to have the opportunity to share words. Thank you. I love you guys. I do care about you, and I do care about seeing this community be a place where the world is a better place because we exist. Baruch Hashem. Kids, let's go to Shabbat school. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I didn't make a big deal out of this because I figured Greta would probably get mad at me, but I would like to introduce these babies, these brand new babies. Harrison on one end, Rowan on the other. Rowan Israel and his parents, Blake and Greta. And I have Cole and Rachel Wagner and young Harrison with not very much hair, tragic. And Cole styled it to look just like his this morning.
It's all spit, yeah.
Yisimcha Elohim, Ki Ephraim. Look at that. Ki Ephraim Mechi Menashe. All these babies is truly miraculous. May God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. Yisamech Elohim, Kesarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. May the Lord make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Father, this is probably one of the most humbling things, is to look at this and all the families that are represented, all the love, all of the necessity for great parenting that's before us. God, raise up our community to be the example and the light that these kids may be, the light of the world that they've been called to be. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, yo'er Adonai ponav elecha v'yihugneka. Yisa Adonai ponav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Darren, did you get my updated keynote? Oh, thank you. Last week you looked, of course, at Noah, and we looked at Noah's missions. Noah's missions. And we got to the first one pretty in detail. And we talked about l'chayot and l'chachayot and zera and seed and all kinds of stuff. We considered Noah's righteousness, his obedience, and his survival skills, his ability to survive. And we ended that with a question, though. How did he do on mission 2? Because mission 2 was the biggie, revive. We had survive, keep them alive, and we had replenish the earth with seed. Revive and thrive. And so I want to finish that today, but one more look at Noah's obedience will be useful for us and it's about the survival commands. Build an ark, he says, right? We all know this part of the story. Build an ark. Enter the ark. You, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Of every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of every kind into the ark. You shall take 7 pairs of clean animals. So Noah did these things according to everything that God had commanded him. So he did. Now I want you to notice something of seemingly microscopic importance about the text. Here's how God told them to enter the ark in 6:18. And you shall enter the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives. And then in 7:7, Noah and his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives entered into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Now notice how they did it. They did it exactly as they were commanded to do it. You see it? It's pretty clear because it's in English. Notice, exactly as commanded. Then again in 7:13, on this very same day, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japhet, his kids, the sons anyway, and Noah's wife and the 3 wives of his sons entered the ark. So far, so good. Still, check mark perfect in the obedience column. Just as God said, get on, they got on. Check mark. That is pre-flood. Pre-flood. Now notice there's something interesting that the sages point out about why this order was given. Do you have any idea, any thoughts, any random crazy thoughts about why they said, go back one slide for me, Darren, why it says you shall enter the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your wives' sons with you? Oh, sons' wives. Yeah, them. Any ideas? It's a unique consideration. No hanky-panky on the ark. They're segregated. They are going in this particular order. Noah had a prohibition against family relations on the ark. Noah, you, your son, you, your sons, your wife, and your wives, your sons' wives, go in. No family relations. Now listen, no sex. Okay, great. Why would you even be thinking about that with all of these animals and the stenches and, being on this boat for a year with your family, wondering if the rain will ever stop? Who would ever be thinking about bringing a baby into the world in that situation? Except for Cole Wagner. Now, so that's pre-flood, intra-flood stuff. That's what it says. That's how I want you to go on, and the sages derived that. Now, our focus today, as I said, is post-flood. L'chayot al paneh et kol haaretz, to revive life upon the face of the earth. So we get now, that's 6 and 7. We spent a week and a half now on 6 and 7. Now we move to chapter 8. The emergence from the ark also had its fair share of commandments. Let's read a little bit. In 8:16, go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing that's all flesh that's with you, birds and animals, and be fruitful and multiply. So I just skimmed it, but what you're deriving there is the 3 commandments. Go out of the ark, bring out the animals, be fruitful and multiply. Got it? First one. Go out of the ark with pleasure. Right? Doesn't say it, but you don't have to say it. Go out of the ark with pleasure, I imagine. They went out of the ark. Listen to the command. You and your wife and your sons wives with you, you notice a difference. Do you see the difference? There is no segregation. Men and women are paired. You and your wife go out. You, your sons and their wives go out. This is different, isn't it? And it's in the Hebrew, you can check it. It's not just a bad English translation. This is how it translates. The men and women are paired. Now that's important. Commandment 2, bring out the animals. Why? I don't know. Maybe with the intention of giving them some direction or order. Maybe with special attention that needed to be given to the clean animals that he was commanded to bring on. Who knows? But Noah, it says, bring them out. And then seemingly those 2 commandments are going to point to the 3rd commandment, which is what? Be fruitful and multiply. These are the 3 we derive from chapter 8. Noah and his wife, be fruitful and multiply. Sons and your wives, be fruitful and multiply. Back in action. Time for fruit, baby. Right? Right? I mean, that's what it's saying. Animals, bring them out. Have them breed and multiply. These were the commandments. This is perfectly righteous Noah, obedient, servant. Everything that God commanded, Noah did. Now watch this in a slide. Verse 18. So Noah went out, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. You see it? You got to look. You got to read carefully. You got to pay attention. That's what the sages do. That's what we do. Noah isn't coming out hand in hand with his wife. They're not paired up. Noah and his sons went out, and his wife and his sons' wives went out. That's not how it's supposed to be. We're in phase 2. This is be fruitful and multiply phase. This is pair up. This is rebuild, revive, be fruitful. And we can see that language is different. Now, furthermore, if we move on to the next commandment, which I told you, bring out with you every living thing. Did it happen? Read chapter 10. There's the command. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you. What actually happened? Every animal, every crawling thing, every bird, everything that moves on the earth went out by their families of the ark. Where's Noah? Where's Noah? He was told to bring them out of the ark. And it just says they stuck together, but they meandered on out of there. Where's Noah? You see, he was supposed to be in charge of this. This was his bigger mission. Survival is important, but Noah, Hashem's saying, we're going to revive. The world is depending on you. And it's almost like Noah is all of a sudden developed a case of the teenage rebellious blues, like he's not doing the thing that he's commanded to do. Have you ever noticed that? Noah's being strangely disobedient. Now, this is a unique moment in the Noah story where we don't read the words that we have gotten used to reading. After every commandment, what do we read? And Noah did as God commanded. Everything that God commanded, Noah did. But not here. Not here. Because he didn't. He didn't follow the commandment that he was given. He didn't follow the rules. But God's not finished with Noah. And Noah has proven so much, and he's got so much invested in Noah. And even though he's not in revival mode yet, God's not done. Chapter 9 comes along, and it's like God's rah-rah, motivational speech to Noah. He says, buddy, listen. let's make a covenant. I'm not going to do it again. I'll put this pretty rainbow in the sky. You'll know that I'm never going to do it. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fertile and increase and fill the earth. This is chapter 9. There's that again. Chapter 9:7. Be fertile then and increase, abound on the earth and increase on it. There's that again. I mean, are you getting the theme? Make babies. Be fruitful, fill the earth, repopulate it, revive it. Noah, I'm serious about keeping the world alive. That rainbow, it's a good thing. You, the whole earth, and God saying, Noah, you did it. Now, go do it. I'll let you derive what it is, but he wasn't going to let Noah go that easy. Why? Because Noah walked with God. Now, last week we talked about walking in the garden. There was someone in between the garden and Noah who walked. You remember who it was, walked with God? Enoch, right? Enoch also walked with God. And you know what God did with Enoch? God likes guys who walk with him. He just does. I would encourage, guys, walk with God. Okay? But he wasn't going to just let Noah, listen, Noah, come here. Little shock, you're off to a rough start here, but here's your wife, here's your kids, the animal. Go for it. Be fruitful, multiply, go. Lead the charge, man. It's more than God saying, go sleep with your wife. He's saying, Noah, be the man, be the leader, take charge, do the thing. Be the reviver. Be my obedient friend, servant, partner in creation. Noah, I care about creation. You stayed alive. You survived to make it here. You can be the father of all humanity. Noah, Avinu, our father, Noah, to be remembered in greatness. And what does Noah do? He plants a vineyard and gets drunk. Now, as I said, after a year on a boat with your family, a ton of animals, no hanky-panky, you would want a glass of wine too. Who wouldn't? But Noah gets hammered, slammed. And in essence, he says no to God. That's basically how the Noah story ends. And it's really sort of tragic because, I mean, of course, the weak link in my argument, some would say, is, well, the world got repopulated. I mean, what are you even talking about? Well, listen, if you segregate men from their wives and then set them free, I mean, there's a natural process of things that's going to happen. Kids are going to be made, okay? I'm not saying that babies are born, society grows when men and women live together. That's not the point. The point is Noah was supposed to be the man, righteous, God's man. But for Noah's part, what do we read about Noah's great efforts after the flood? Where do we read the story, the narrative of his fantastic rebuilding of the world and sharing with everyone about God and the revival of this new world? Where is that in the Torah? It's nowhere because he's uncovered in a cave drunk. That's how the story ends. Now, Hasidic teaching takes a very interesting lean on why Noah did that. It's not that he happened to get drunk or anything or end up naked in the cave. It was that he actually wanted to do that. He set out to get absolutely obliterated, plastered drunk. Do you know why? Because again, Hasidic Judaism, looking for the really good in everything, says he wanted to erase the consciousness of the nakedness that man had discovered in the Garden of Eden. Meaning, when they ate from that tree, they became conscious of their awareness. So Noah set out to get obliterated, plastered, got drunk so that he could forget all of that and be naked again. I mean, it's a really unique look, okay? But we're not going to go with that one. We're not going to go with that one. And you know something I told you last week about the idea that Noah gets some criticism. Now listen, Noah, again, is considered righteous in Judaism, but he gets some criticism, as we talked about last night, last week, and last night, he didn't bring people on the boat. Remember we talked about that? He wasn't a good evangelist. And I don't like that one very much, because we talked about how the world was completely corrupt, full of violence, destined for destruction. Maybe he tried, maybe no one listened. Maybe for over that period of time, the Talmud and other sources tell us he was not treated well. You know he had to have been made fun of, probably threatened. All kinds of bad things probably happened to Noah. His called crazy, family threatened, and maybe, just maybe, Noah didn't want to go back to the way it was. You ever thought about that? Probably not, because most people haven't thought about much of what I'm saying, not because it's just sort of hidden in there, but really cool. But you could understand why Noah was not overly excited about recreating the world that he had just come from with all these terrible people. I know this has probably never happened to any of you, where someone has treated you very, very poorly, or you've done something for someone and they did not receive it well or with any sense of gratitude at all. And then God gave you an instruction to be reconciled or to help them or to favor them after they had treated you like crap. And you jumped for joy, right? You rejoiced at the opportunity to go and serve this person who treated you badly. That's how you do it every time, right? I'm sure, because you're strong disciples of Yeshua. We should do that. And that's what Noah was tasked with doing. I know what you came from, but rebuild it. Maybe he didn't want to. You could understand. And he said, hey, hanging with the fam in a vineyard, in a cave, natural air conditioning, it's pretty good. I'll just stick here. But that wasn't the mission. That was not the mission. The mission was to be the righteous servant of revival, survival and revival. And he needed to step up and lead. I told you the thing happened where the world was repopulated, and we read about all their generations and everything. It happened, but it didn't happen because of Noah's strong and righteous leadership. And God's heroes are about something different than that. God's heroes are about something that you have heard known as the higher good. That is the good of others, the tough stuff, taking uncomfortable action to do things in the world, or taking uncomfortable action for us when we've been wronged or done something, had something done to us, but we continue to serve. We don't go off in a cave and seclude ourselves from the rest of the world. We continue to try to make it a better place to be, because that's what our mission is. It's called tikkun olam in Judaism, repair the world. That was Noah's first example of tikkun olam, right? I heard a great podcast from Rabbi Fari about Noah. It was called Me versus We. Me versus we. And his question was, why don't we call Noah father? Why isn't Noah called Noah Avinu? Like, why do we have the patriarchs, Avraham Avinu, in the merit of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? We just said it. Where's Noah's, man? He is actually the father of all living humanity. He doesn't merit this term, our father Noah. And the teaching over the last couple of weeks now gives you the answer. Self-interest is easy. It's easy to look out for yourself and for your family. That's easy to do. It's easy to build an ark for 120 years when God says your family is going to be saved by this. to do things that ensure your survival, to use your skills and blessings to ensure your future is happy. And you should absolutely do that. You should absolutely do that. Everyone in here should be doing that. But the mission for Noah, obviously, we know, was much bigger than himself. And so is our mission, much bigger than ourselves. And bigger than our peace of mind, and bigger than our security, and bigger than our survival. Serving the higher good matters. It's the hero's story. And I can't help but think of Yeshua, of course, in this, because I'm a Messianic Jewish teacher. You know, there's a school of thought in theology that says that Yeshua, his mission was strictly to the Jewish people. That's why he came. And it's not derived out of thin air. It's derived out of things that he actually said, like, I didn't come for you. Don't go through the Gentile territories. These are things he said. She said, come on, Master, give me something. He said, and remember, her Syrophoenician woman, her gut-wrenching response, I know, but even the dogs deserve crumbs from the table. So the idea is derived that Yeshua came for the Jewish people. But that in that process, and I know this is out of the box, and I'm not telling you that this is what I believe or you have to believe, but in that process, Yeshua rose to the occasion of Savior of the world because he recognized the mission was much bigger than Israel. But God so loved the world that I know, we're not getting, that's not the message we're having. I'm just telling you that there's an idea that says that Yeshua did what heroes do in God's world. You see survival, but you say, what about all of this? Daniel Lancaster did a great teaching called How the Gospel Should Have Ended. And in that teaching, it's true. Yeshua could have come. All the Jews should have embraced him. The kingdom should have been established. The nation should have been destroyed, vanquished. And all Israel should have lived happily ever after. In other words, Israel should have thrived alone. And Yeshua, without a doubt, had what it took to get that done. Remember this gem? You don't think I can call to my Father and he will at once put at my disposal 12 legions? I could take you all out and restore this kingdom now. But that's not the mission. The mission is much, much bigger. In other words, I serve the higher good, the highest good. It's my mission to do both, to see Israel survive and thrive, and bring the nations to Israel, to bring life to the nations, survive, revive, thrive. Noah needed to see beyond himself. And yes, this is an interpretation, but maybe that is why he's not Noach Avinu. You see what fathers do? Fathers look out for their posterity. Fathers create a better world for those that are coming behind them. He didn't build for the generations to come, and that, I think, was his great failure, righteousness of self, which made him great for the survival, but not so much for the revival. But you know, long before we see Yeshua and meet Yeshua, we move into this week's Torah portion, which is called Lech Lecha. We meet one, goes by the name of Avram at this point in the story. We meet this guy who could not see much other than what was outside of himself. He was the friend of God. He merits to be called Father Abraham, to see and serve the world. And so here's what we've seen in the Torah thus far in our series called In the Beginning. Cosmic creation, right? The world created this massive thing with God's desire to befriend man. And then that kind of bums. And then the story of a family in Noah who God entrusted to rebuild, but they didn't really get the task. They weren't covenant co-creators. But this week, we meet God's first covenant partner, his friend, Avram, our father, Abraham, the Bible's first real hero, who is told, Vayomer Adonai el Avraham, Lech lecha me'artzecha. Now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show you. And guess what he did? He went. Survival wasn't a concern. He didn't say, all right, okay, I hear you. Tell me where to go and I'll go. I hear you. Tell me what I'm going to do when I get there and I'll go. Okay, all right. Well, tell me exactly what path and tell me what I want to know and that everything's going to be fine and I'll go. And God told him something like he told Noah, build the world. That's in essence what he says to him in Lech Lecha, in one of the most famous of all Torah verses. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. Now, in the first part of that, there's a whole bunch of really good stuff for Abram, right? Really good stuff. Like, I'm going to make you a great nation. I'll bless you. I'll make your name great. You'll be a blessing. I'll bless the people who treat you right. I'll curse the ones who curse you. That's really good survival language. Anyone who heard God say that would be excited. But I don't think that's what Abraham actually heard. He did. But it's that last line that Abram focused on, and we see it in every aspect of his life going forward from here. In you, the whole world is going to be blessed. And what's it start with? It starts with what Abraham did in the next line. It starts with obedience. It starts with listening. So, he heard all those things. And Abram said, you got it. I'll do it. And he took off. And he took Lot with him. And he took, of course, his wife, and he took, it says, all the nephesh, all the people that they had made, all the disciples that Abram had made around him in the community that he lived. You see the difference already between Noah? Noah didn't make disciples, but Abraham took all these souls with him, and he said, listen, here's what's going to happen. God's given us this incredible promise. I know, but let's just trust him and go. And that's why he is Avraham Avinu, because a father looks out for his posterity. He took that mission so very seriously. All of the families of earth shall bless themselves by you. Abram, if you do what I say, you have a mission in the world. The world will be blessed if you take it on. Everyone in here is a son or daughter of Abraham, whether through blood or adoption. That's a pretty big mission, right? He did it. And his response, Abraham went forth. That's what he did. He was 75 years old when he started his mission of revival. So, what's the takeaway? I don't know. No, the takeaway is we haven't gotten to it yet. But in Abraham, we're going to see over the next few weeks what we should look like as sons and daughters of Abraham, disciples of the Messiah Yeshua, and children of the Most High God. Shabbat Shalom. Let's stand up. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא,
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ, מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. On that day, the Lord will be one, and his name will be one. And despite all of the apparent signs of revival that have occurred through the generations of history, when his name is one, we will truly be living in a revived world. Baruch Hashem. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you his peace. B'Shem Yeshua. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yo'er Adonai ponav elecha v'yihuneka. Yisa Adonai ponav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Get yourselves busy with some tikkun olam today. Repairing the world.
And cake.